She's finally here! Hey ghouls, it's Katya, and today we are going to be unboxing and reviewing none other than Creeproduction Operetta. Without further ado, let's get started. Now let's take a look at the box, shall we? It is in the usual Creeproduction style, just like the previous two waves before, which is nice for consistency. It looks really great on a shelf if you're one who keeps these in box. It has the ghoul herself with her little pet. Up here it says Boo-riginal Creeproduction instead of her little quote, which is now on that super tiny star there, but it is written down. It says hiding behind a mask of perfection. Here we have her skelette and her name, and it says that she's the daughter of the Phantom of the Opera, of course. And there's a little birthday mix cassette, which I like that as a small little touch. I think it's super cute. On the side here we have Monster High, of course, and the artwork of Miss Operetta and her pet. On the back we have her full body artwork and also an excerpt from her bio here. I will zoom in so you can get a chance to read that if you'd like. And there's also another little cassette feature right here. And on the top of the box we have a little quote from Miss Operetta herself, which is very cute. Something that I would like to point out to all of the astute viewers in the audience. On the black background here, we have quite a few different symbols. We do have the symbols for the Werecat twins. We have Toralei. We do have Operetta's mask in here somewhere, like right there. And it looks like we have a little something else that doesn't quite correspond to any of the characters we got in Wave 3. Almost as if Nephra should have been part of this, perhaps, which is unfortunate. We will all mourn Nephra together. Now that we've looked at Operetta in her box, let's see if we can't free her from her plastic and cardboard prison, shall we? Here she is, all out of the box, looking gorgeous as always. Let's take a closer look at Miss Operetta and everything she comes with. Here she is, Miss Operetta, with the gorgeous victory rolls. Mine are surprisingly intact, apart from this little squish up here, but that is to be expected. This hairstyle is quite hard to manufacture and make look nice all across the board. But here she is. She's got her dice earrings, her black mask, her little puff jacket, which I have seen some people have some issues with the stitching on the sleeves here, but mine seems to be okay, which is pretty good. She's got the purple shirt, the piano belt, which is super cute, the piano bracelet, and the dice ring, which is so tiny and so cute. I really hope I don't lose this. She's got her denim on here. I am so sorry for my camera refusing to focus on the ghoul at hand. It really wants to show off my collection in the background. And she's got her gorgeous little stilettos with the treble clef heel, which is just simply iconic. No one can do it the way Operetta does, truly. Now let's take a look at what she comes with for accessories. Miss Operetta comes with her guitar, which has a strap on the back here that does unclasp, and it also opens. Would this function as an actual guitar? Probably not, but it's a doll, so we can We can pretend that it works. She also comes with her pet, Memphis Daddy-O Longlegs, and he is very squishy. I have an original one. He is not nearly this squishy. It's very strange for me. And of course, no G1 OG is complete without her diary. I always loved the diaries growing up. They were my absolute favorite thing. Now let's take a quick look at the inside, shall we? Now we'll just do a quick little look into Operetta's diary. You are very welcome to pause if you would like to read the diary. Now, since this is a Creeproduction release, that means there is an original to compare to, which I do happen to have an original Operetta, though she is in a bit of a state. Please forgive her hair. I haven't gotten around to it yet. But thankfully I do have this doll. She doesn't have all her accessories. She's missing her ring, but that is okay. She does have her little pet though. Mine, he doesn't stand. Just forgive him. He's face planting. Anyway, we shall do a quick little comparison between the two. I'll do close-ups of their faces, of their accessories, their clothes, all of that good stuff, just so you can see exactly what has changed and what has stayed basically the same. So as you can see, there are a couple differences in the face here. The original Operetta does have a darker lip color than the pre-production. The mask looks roughly the same to me. I'm not seeing any major differences here. The eyes are a little different, as you can see. They seem to be a little more turned down in Creeproduction Operetta, but honestly I think both face-ups are really nice. I think they did a pretty good job with the Creeproduction, keeping her pretty close to the original, but she is still a little different. So if this exact face is what you're looking for, I would maybe skip this one. The earrings look to be basically the same. Not seeing any major differences here. The jacket looks to be of a similar material and similar structure here. Not seeing anything too different there. The shirt though, the shirt is a little different. It seems to be slightly darker on the Creeproduction, and the fabric mostly the same, I would say. I am noticing a skin tone difference with the arms though. I'm not quite sure if it's just age on my original Operetta's part. Obviously she is from 2012. I don't know what she went through before coming into my home, as I did get her second hand, but as you can see, the arms on Creeproduction Operetta are a little darker than the arms on the original Operetta. The belt looks pretty similar. Looks like there's slightly thicker black outlines on the original as compared to the Creeproduction. Moving downwards, I've seen a lot of people make comments about the pants specifically, saying they really don't like the Creeproduction pants in comparison to the originals. I do see a difference here. They are ever so slightly more fitted on the original, and they are also ever so slightly darker. It doesn't show up all that well on camera, but these are slightly lighter than the originals. Personally, it's not a big enough difference to really bother me per se, but I do see what people are saying. Down to the shoes, they're looking pretty identical, honestly. I think the shoes were well done. Overall, I do think the Creeproduction's face is ever so slightly softer when it comes to the screening as compared to the original, but I do think it still captures the character quite well. I do kind of wish the lip color wasn't quite so cherry bright red. I much prefer this deeper red, but you know, what can you do? She's still gorgeous, and I'm still very happy to have her, though I do believe we need to compare her pet and her guitar to finish off the comparison. So here are the two guitars. Left is the original, right is Creeproduction. As you can see, basically the same. Let's take a look at the pets and see if there's any major difference there. Here we have our little spider friends. On the left is the original, and the right is Creeproduction. This guy's a little beat up, as you can tell. The material of the plastic is slightly different. The Creeproduction is also slightly lighter in color. This one's quite squishy, and this one is not so much. And he also, I don't know if it's just mine, but he can't stand properly, while the Creeproduction one can, which I guess is good. One more detail I wanted to point out as a difference between them is the material of the hands. Modern G1 and G3 as well have very squishy hands. The material is very bendy, as you can see. While the original Operetta, her hands are quite stiff. They are not movable in the slightest. I don't quite know what the reasoning is on this. I'm not really bothered by it either way. but it's just a small difference that I thought was worth sharing. Now, whenever it comes to Creeproduction releases, I always have one question, and that is, what arm pegs are they using? Since in the 2022 Creeproductions, which I have all the way up there, you can barely see them, but you can see the legs, they're up there. They have the upgraded arm pegs of the G2 era, while the Wave 2s, hello Abby Inspector over there, do not. They have the usual G1 arm pegs, which for some reason in modern G1 means that they don't quite fit the arms, and that ruins mobility, and also if you try and take the arms out, they can get damaged. This also was done with the 2024 re-release of the original Creeproductions. They did not have the upgraded arm pegs. I've heard online that Toralei from this collection does have upgraded arm pegs. I'll have to let you know when I get her. She will be unboxed on this channel eventually, whenever she's in my hands, as well as the twins, so look forward to that. But unfortunately, Miss Operetta here looks like she has the regular arm pegs, as I cannot get them out and I don't want to break her. So we're going to just make the educated assumption that she has the weaker arm pegs, sadly. Now, as I like to do with my unboxings, I like to give you a very close look at all the individual pieces that a doll comes with. So let's go get Operetta undressed and take a closer look at all her pieces, shall we? So here is Miss Operetta herself. I have opted to keep the mask on, as I don't really want to mess with it right now. I prefer to keep her factory styling, at least for the time being. So we can take a closer look at her gorgeous face and her victory roll hairstyle, which is very pretty. She has this birthmark, which goes all the way down from her face to her neck and ends roughly at the shoulder here. There's a little bit under the arm as well, and a bit on her shoulder blade here. And she has this tattoo sleeve that goes all the way down her arm. For articulation, it is the standard G1 articulation. Her arms seem to be able to go down decently far. This can be an issue with modern G1s where their joints are super stiff or their arms can't go down all the way. I've noticed that's a trend. I've seen worse. This isn't too bad, but it is, you can see how far her arms are sticking out. Her joints move pretty normally. She does have this signature G1 clicking, I like to call it. It's not actually clicking with this one, but it's just it kind of snaps into a couple different angles, and that's about it, because I believe the ball of the peg is just slightly too big. I don't know why this is such an issue with modern G1s. It was not nearly as much of an issue when G1 was still being produced. So I don't quite understand the issue, nor why they have not done the upgraded pegs since, I guess maybe Toralei. We'll see when we get there. But anyway, here is the ghoul. She can bend her legs and her hips here. It's a teeny bit stiff, but not too bad. Her head does move all the way around here, and I believe that is it for her. Let's take a look at her clothing and accessories, shall we? Now here are all of Operetta's little jewelry and accessories. We'll start with her belt here, which has a bunch of sheet music as the belt itself, with a little spider web in the middle, and then she has some music notes as chains, and it does clasp in the back here. Next we have her earrings, which are little dice. They're super cute, they're mismatched. We've got a white dice on a chain, and then just a regular black dice here. Next we have her piano keys bracelet, which is super cute. And last but not least, we have her little dice ring, which is extremely tiny, so you can't really see the details on camera, I don't think, but it does have numbers on the sides. It's very cute. Now for clothes, Operetta comes with this super cute little jacket. It's got some spiderweb designs on it and some piano keys as the sleeves and a teeny little skullet button, and the jacket does clasp right here. Honestly, one of my favorite clothing pieces. Next we have her top, which is purple with some black patterning and also some fake button detailing down here. Has a high collar and no sleeves here. Also attaches with Velcro, as is standard. Next are her pants, which it is rare to see girl dolls come with pants as their signature outfit, so it was definitely a fun change of pace. It's got some red thread detailing to mark where pockets would be and where the zip would be. Also the cuffs here, and it attaches with with Velcro as always. Now we have Operetta's shoes, which are these really cute little stilettos with a treble clef heel and a little white cuff at the top. There's also a teeny little treble clef button on the top of them there, and some little painted on laces. And there's also spiderweb detailing on the black parts of the shoe. Overall, one of my favorite pairs of shoes in Monster High, honestly. I think these are just such a clean and well-made design, but they're just really visually appealing. Now that we've taken a closer look at Operetta and her accessories, let's get her dressed again and ready for my final thoughts. Now that Operetta is fully dressed and posed, it is time for my final thoughts. Overall, I think she is a gorgeous doll. I think they did quite well with capturing the original Operetta's likeness here. The face is a little different, the lip color is a little too bright, but aside from that, I'm pretty happy, honestly. In truth, this doll is actually quite personally special to me because Signature Operetta was actually my very first Monster High doll. It was my 12th birthday, and after admiring Monster High dolls for 2 years, I was finally allowed to have my own. And when I was in the Monster High aisle looking at all the different dolls, my eyes landed on Operetta and it was all over. That was the only one I wanted. I thought she was so cool. I loved her aesthetic. I loved just everything about her. I thought she was perfect. And I was super excited to see that she had her own diary and I could read more about her. Diaries are something that I really think that Monster High is lacking these days. I think it's such a great interactive element, and for kids to be able to learn more about the characters. I desperately wish G3 had implemented those, but at least we still have G1. Overall, I'm super happy with this doll. She is extremely special to me. If you can't tell, I did unbox her in such a way that I can preserve the box, and I might actually display her in it. Even though I am an out-of-box collector, I do sometimes do that for either dolls that I really like the boxes of, or like collector dolls, that sort of thing. All in all, if you're wanting an Operetta doll that doesn't have any glue seepage issues, thank God, and, you know, is in probably better condition than some of the original Operettas on the market, I think she's a good choice, provided she is still available where you live. I did manage to purchase all 4 of the Wave 3 Creeproduction dolls on Mattel Creations the day that it launched, as I have a fan club membership, but I know a lot of people weren't so lucky. I know the twins especially were extremely difficult to get. Even though Mattel could restock them, they restocked Operetta and Toralei, and I think they are still periodically being restocked on Amazon, so if you're still looking for those 2 at least, definitely take a look. I know they've also been spotted in some stores in the UK, I believe? I'm not quite sure. I've not seen any here in Canada at least, but I also don't live in a super populated area of Canada, so there's also that. Overall, gorgeous doll. Really happy to have her, and I hope that if you want or wanted any of the Creeproductions that you are able to get them at some point, because I do believe these dolls should be accessible. Frankly, the way that Mattel handles G1 releases is abysmal, and I truly hope that they can improve over time. And that will be all for my Operetta review for today. Definitely keep an eye out on my channel for the Toralei and Werecat twin Creeproduction reviews. I believe Toralei will be shipping out on the 25th of this month and the twins on May 2nd, so I will be making videos as soon as I get them. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like, it really helps me out. And if you enjoy my content, please hit subscribe. I'd love to see you around. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all you ghouls in the next video.